Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Joel, and I'm from Black Panda Studios. Today I'm going to be doing a small update, basically a run-through of my class, for my main class for my game, and just a small update on where it's at the moment. So, I'll run the game first, just to show you, because most of you are probably more interested in that. Anyone else who wants to stay and look at my code, then, yeah, stay. Up to you. So, I've got my splash screen still. A lot shorter. I've got a little, I don't know, rain effect. Basically, it's not going to be the mouse cursor falling. It's going to be random bits of ice cream. Just because, I don't know. Maybe have an Easter egg if you get enough, or do something cool with them. I have no idea. I was bored and I did that. So, basically, we've got that sound effect now. Yeah, it's pretty full on. And these don't have sound effects yet. Yep, got transitions to option screen. Still haven't fixed it. The mouse isn't being drawn. I need to fix that. I'm going to start a new game. As you can see, we have water in the background. A few lag spikes there. Basically, there's 3 layers. One at the front moves faster. Second bit faster. As you can see, that's moving faster than that. And this one's moving even faster than that. And then there's one up here that's moving even faster than that. So yeah, that's a little parallax sort of effect there. This stand isn't going to be there. Basically, I'll upgrade it and it'll be this. As you can see over in my debug here, we have current daily customers is -70 because I have a bug that's annoying me a lot. 7 were spawned, and yeah. Don't worry, that's a bug. Basically, I've got this little shop here as well. 6, 12, 24, 1, 6, 1, 12, 24, 12, 6, 6. This doesn't work yet, but I can buy 6. You'll see my money go down. Buy 6 of these, money will go down even more, and 6 of these will go down even more. 24 of these will take a substantial amount, as you can see. 24 of these will take a little bit less, and this will take even less. So in comparison, that goes down by like a little bit, and this one goes down by like a lot. Yeah, and as you can see, I got a lot of wafer sugar and waffle cones now. That will be fixed. This is just for testing still. It's all just a pretty little tech demo. So yeah, that's the stand. Basically, you hover over, click upgrade. That will fade out, and there'll be a little button. You press it, and there'll be a timer on upgrade to this one, which will be a real one, and this one, and this one, this one. This one, and then our final stand, which is this one, which is really zoomed in, which I'll fix. It's not an issue at all. But yeah, basically what I'm going to be working on in the next week is having day and night, which might sound stupid, but the plan is you'll start off with something small, and it takes about 10 seconds to upgrade, because the day only lasts like 30. You'll lose a lot of customers. I don't know what goes on there, but yeah, you lose a lot of customers, so if it goes to night time, no one's going to be there, so you have to do all your upgrading and purchasing that and get stuff shipped and whatnot. Yeah. Basically, I've got a little cheat things I can click to buy things. Can't buy ice cream. I'm going to add a category soon and fix this because it looks terrible. I don't like the colours. You might argue against that, but I might try and use the same colour scheme with like the red and maybe a lighter red and then yellow in here. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that'll be fixed. Yeah, that's about it for that. Quit that. Close out of this. Now, yeah, that's it. Anyone who not interested in code, that's the update, and thanks for watching. But anyone else, I'm going to run through my class. So basically, I've got it into I've got some fields here, or some regions, sorry. I've got 5 regions, my main variables, my loaded in variables, constructors, main methods, and private methods. So in my main variables, I have also sectioned off, I've got quite a few. I have an enum for my current stand, which is blank for just so, I don't know, I needed a blank one. Tier 1, 2, 3, through to 7, and then the final. We've got current stand, basically so we can figure out which one we're on currently, and then a little item just for testing. Customer, stand, cursor, yeah, they're just some textures. I've got a list, the list of stands, sorry, as well as this tier 1 stand, which I don't really need, but you know. I got the floor, a little up and down thing, a shop button and a shop. That doesn't need to be there. I've got a little black background, and this is my... Get rid of this also. Okay. Where was I? Here. So yeah, I've got my parallax background, which is water. And basically all this does is it has one texture and draws two of them, really. No, you get two textures, sorry. And I just set texture 2 to equal texture 1. I don't... Why bother? Because it's going to be the same texture. I just use 1 and then set them both to 1. Basically, position 1... Basically, they are... One will be like over here on the screen, and one will be off the screen, and then this one will move off while the other one moves on. And as soon as the first one goes off the screen, it will go back behind the other one here, and then it will just loop around like this. So that's all that does. Yeah, we've got customer flow. We've got the customers and a list of customer. A list of... It's called customer because I had to have customers here. Got the season, which is not in use, but basically if it's winter, it's not going to have as much ice cream really. And I'll make it not last as long because I'll make the game boring. Got chocolate ice cream, strawberry and vanilla. We've got the mouse and keyboard states, which you just need. A song, a font, some positions that are used to determine position of something, I don't remember, and a cursor. Got the current tier, which is just a static string, and the current trend, which is a static string. I also got some images, just spawn amount, price, popularity, total customers, random texture, previous texture, the current day, daily customers, timer, stand scale, timer customer, max timer customer. So that's the delay between spawning customers is 1.5 seconds. A boolean to check if you've gained money, a boolean to check if the customers have been set, which is true. And I got two randoms, one called random, one called random. I don't know why I got two. I really don't, but I don't want to move it because then I'll have to fix a lot of things. Moving on to loaded variables. Basically this is for loading and saving my game. Basically it will read the text file and then set the whatever it loads into these, and then sets these to the other ones. Yeah, I don't know. That's how I'm going to explain it. Basically my constructor, I've just got play, which just updates the play screen. Or just it doesn't update. It's like the initialize method for my play. It's a constructor. So I load this data. I load save data and I load the item data. I set the cursor texture to the cursor. I get the position. I load in the stand, load in the music, load in these, load in the water. Basically, what is this? Not 0.25. Oh, movement speed. Yeah, so basically, this one is slower, this one's faster, faster, faster. And then that's the position, I think. I don't know. It does something like that. I think it is. Yes, position. I could also put that in a for loop. Just make that a list of water, but I don't know, it's fine. It doesn't stop anything. Black equals new sprite white. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, basically I didn't want to change the name, and I changed it to load in a white instead of black, so yeah, just for confusion. Chocolate ice cream, strawberry ice cream, vanilla. Loads it in, sets its position, sets its type. Like it says chocolate ice cream, but you got to set its type here for the function to work. I load in the item 1, do all this, this, blah, blah. So if a new game isn't loaded, so basically if you don't press new game, you press load game, you set your money to equal the loaded money, etc, etc. And then if you do load a new game, reset stats, generate a trend, set the stand to tier 1, save the data, so basically you just override the other one. Yeah. Stand scale. Basically I'm cycling through... Oh yeah. So basically I got a for loop, I is equal to 2. If I is less than or equal to 9, I plus plus. If I is equal to 9, then stand scale is equal to 0.3f. Yeah, that's just because this ninth one is a very, very large scale, and as you can see it was scaled up, so I need to fix this. And basically it adds, this is just loading in all of the stands at once. So cart, and then plus I2 string. So if we look here, we've got cart, and then whatever number it is. And the reason I started at 2 is because number 1 is number 2, the way I've done it naming, like name-wise. So yeah, it loads them in, it cycles through until it gets to 9, and it loads them all in, and it sets the position, the scale of the stand, that's true, whatever it is, and set price, set popularity. So basically, every time it adds one, the price is times by 2, and then add 200. So doubles and then plus is 200, doubles plus is 200. So every stand as you get higher is twice plus 200. And then the popularity doubles. So how much popularity you get from it doubles every time it adds one. Rather than going stand tier.add cart 2, stand tier.add cart 3, cart 4, cart 5, and have it would be about down to here. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. And then I update the current stand and set gain cache to equal false by default. So next is my main methods. So I've got update and draw. I've tidied it up a lot. So basically, a random texture is like every 60 times per second, I'm pretty sure the update method runs. So yeah, it generates a number between 0 and 8 a lot of times. And then, yeah, just picks a number between 0 and 8. Now set the current tier to equal the current stand.to string, yep. This is just setting a little offset for the position of the cursor, because I did a custom cursor, and instead of going off the origin, I wanted to go off the top left corner, which of course it does in X and A, but I had to give it a bit of an offset for it to work properly. So it's 2022. I could name it offset X, offset Y, but it doesn't matter. I've got a timer that goes up in seconds and the customer timer which goes up in milliseconds. This is basically so you can get key clicked and key pressed and just the mouse states. Then I set the number of ice cream to equal all the different flavors added together. So that's the total number of ice cream. And yeah, they're the individual numbers for every one. Then if you press P and you haven't already pressed P, pause it. If you are paused and you click P, unpause. And then, yeah, do this. That's updating water 2, 3, and 4, so that's each one. I have some functions here, developer commands, which is like pressing little key like bindings that I've made to just cheat things. Calculate the customer flow. Test if I'm hovering the stand. Update the shop again because science. Load customers and update that item 1, which still does nothing, but it's there to test. Upgrade the current stand, and I update all the stands. My naming in this can be a bit confusing, especially updating the shop.update and update shop. It seems a bit confusing. I'll have to look into that. What's going on here? So if customer set is equal to true. Oh yeah, so this is basically if the customers have already been set to a number, like so it doesn't keep calculating the number of customers. Basically it just makes it so it does once. It sets the total customers to equal whatever it calculated and then set it to false. So if it changes, it doesn't matter because it's not true anymore. So it can't, yeah. So if at the start of the day you have 5 and then you get something that increases your daily customers, it's not going to just add that person. It's just going to keep the previous number, and then the next day it will reset. For each customer, see in customer. So for every customer in the list, update them. Check if the purchases are greater than the amount of customers, and then if they're off the screen. So basically once every single customer is off the screen, it will unload them. Otherwise, for some reason, it didn't work. Don't ask me. If you know how to fix it, please go ahead. With draw, I draw the black because the top of this is the bottom layer. So that, then the water is the back, then the floor, and the stands on top of that, and then the customers are on top of that. And then this is all the HUD. And then, yeah, and then you got the cursor, which is on the very top of everything. So that's it, just drawing everything. And this was like 1,400 at one point, and I did a lot of cleaning and saved a lot of everything. This is pretty funny here. I tried to make it so just 4 int I is equal to 0, I is less than the stand tier.count plus plus, so it cycles through every single thing in the list. That didn't work. And if I just put I in here in a for loop, it did not work. Not for the life of me. So I did each individual one, which is helpful because for the final stand I can make it a lower number so it's not as big. So if it's hovering any of the stands, so basically the same coordinates, if it's hovering any of them, zoom in, and then if you click when you're hovering them, increase your money. So hovering button, I don't use rectangles, I use my own function that I made that gets X and Y coordinates, which has had some really funny and strange issues that don't really affect anyone, but still it's just funny. And then else, if it's greater than 5 and you're not actually hovering it anymore, it will go back down. Yeah, so that's just the user feedback of hovering over a stand. Developer commands, if you press escape, switch back to play. It used to be P, which makes more sense, but that's pause, which could also be escape, which I didn't think of, but yeah. M for menu. If you click in this position, temperature goes up, temperature goes down, popularity up, down, that to save data, and stuff like that. So when you update the shop, it basically checks if you're hovering. Oh, yeah. This is a very, very long function here. This basically checks for every single shop, like times 6, times 12, times 24, and it sets that state to that one, so it will draw the specific one. So basically when I'll have to show you this. All this stuff here, the 6, 12, 24, 12, 24, 6, 12, 24, 6, all of them are the different possibilities for when you're clicking something in the shop. Basically I just changed the texture for whatever one you're hovering over, which might seem, I don't know, there's probably a better way of doing it, but this works, it doesn't lag, so it's fine. And then I also check if you're, this is the buy button down at the bottom corner, so if you're hovering the buy area and you left click, it checks which one of these you've selected. And then if you've selected wafer, you increase the number of wafer cones in 35 cents, $1.85, $3.55, and then if you buy 24 of them, it's $7. As you can see, the more you get, the cheaper it sort of gets. Also, if you get one sugar cone, it's 55 cents rather than 35, and one waffle's $3 rather than 55, which is a big jump, but yeah. Fine. So that's that. That's updating. I can see why there's 2 shop updates. One updates just the texture of the shop. Actually, I probably don't need the other one. This is updating the current stand, so it just basically loads in tier 1. If it's tier 2, set the first tier in the list to not there. So basically, that sounds really dumb. Basically, 0 is the first tier. 1 is the second tier, 3rd is the 4th tier. No, 2nd is 3rd, 3rd is 4th. So it's really weird, I know. Basically, so say if it changes to tier 2, we unload this one. And then if it changes to tier 1, we unload this one. If it changes to this one, we unload this one. Basically so they don't draw over the top of each other. Otherwise, you just have layers upon layers of stands over the top of each other. And that's all that does. Yeah. Updating stands. Now, this just basically cycles between the different tiers. So I have buttons that I press. So, like the square brackets, close square brackets, semicolon, quotes, comma, left control, right control. Basically, that's just a sequence of buttons that I press to cycle through the different upgrades. And also my money has to be more than the stand's price. So each stand has a price. And that price, remember before, was times by 2 plus 200. So it's always going to be different, which is kind of helpful. And yeah, basically it deducts the price of that stand from your money, and it increases your popularity based on the popularity game for that specific tier, which we also saw in that function, which is times 2. And it sets the current stand to tier 3, which will go back to this thing and unload this one, and so on and so forth. So that's what that does. And then if it's nothing, I don't know what that does, so let's continue. That's going to hurt my brain. This is pretty self-explanatory. It does the same as the other thing, but it just draws them. If, like, it's tier 2, it will draw tier 2, which is number 1, which hurts my brain as well, so don't worry. Loading customers, it picks a random X value, which is the area off screen they'll spawn. So negative 50, say this is the start of, say that highlighted bit's the length of the width of the window. Negative 50 would be here, so it can spawn in between here and here. And then it'll spawn somewhere from there to there, randomly. And then it will walk on. And then a new random, which does something I'm not aware of. This is a boolean that will be changed whether or not a customer is spawning, and when they are spawning, it will add a customer, really. It will add a customer to the list. So if the customer timer, which is increasing every millisecond, as we saw before, is greater than 1.5 seconds, and the spawn amount is less than the number of customers, so basically the spawn amount increases every time something spawns. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, so that increases every time a customer spawns, and then if that ever becomes greater than the number of customers, it will stop spawning them, so you never go over the daily customers, because otherwise it just would never stop. Yeah, so it sets the timer to 0, so you can spawn another one. It sets spawn customer to true, so you can spawn them, and then it increases the spawn amount. So there it is, that increases, and that will just keep increasing. And then if anything else, it's false. And that's just for debugging. So if it's checking again, if the spawn amount's less than the number of customers and spawn customer, I don't think I need this, to be honest, I'm already checking it here. And technically this shouldn't be true if this isn't true, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, it's there now. So yeah, if spawn customer is true, switch to random texture, which is basically just a number that's picked, and the case that it's 1, so in case it picks a number 1, add this one. And by default, he's rand_x, which is a random value, 420, which is just the level they stand on, 430 because it might be a bit taller than other ones. That's their scale. New value, I'm pretty sure that is whether or not they are desperate to get something or not. And then 6, I think that's how much they are willing to spend. And then their default preference and their default cone preference, really. So the default ice cream preference and the default cone preference. This is just so it will work, and then this is pretty much changed instantly. So it's just there for that. And then if it's 2 to this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Just to 8. And this doesn't work, but yeah, that's meant to check if the previous texture is a random texture, then don't spawn these. But yeah. And then we cycle through the customers, and if the customer isn't alive, then remove them from the list. And they are set to not alive if they're off screen. So this is my little boolean, so left clicked boolean, which is false. So if the last mouse state is button released and current is pressed, then clicked is true, so I just say if left clicked. And also a boolean for hovering button, which basically checks if the mouse's X is greater than the minimum but less than the maximum, so in between 2 points, and less than the minimum maximum on the Y, so it draws an invisible box, so in here and here, and up here and here. If it's in that area, it's true. If it's not, it's false. And then it returns hovering. the boolean. So you just go if hovering button and then you give it 4 values. And this is for loading data. It uses stream reader, gets the path, which is just a string, and it reads the line. If there is a line there, set the loaded variable to equal int.parseLine1 because it's a string and you need to turn it back into an integer. So it does that. We've got load item data, which does the same thing but for items, and it's just booleans. So if you have it, so this will be a text file, just true, false, false, true, true, false, false, true, rah, 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 etc. Just heaps of random crap. Also got save data, writer.writeLine, the popularity, money, temperature, the count of these, the trend, purchases, and the tier, and that will just write that one after the other on a text file, which isn't encrypted, so you can easily hack the game, but it doesn't bother me. And then same with the item data, which is only one item. And then pause game does nothing. And yeah, how'd we go? 25 minutes. Lovely. Yeah, so that is a run through of my play class. What else have we got in here? We've got a particle generator. That's what I made. Basically, this creates the rain. It's pretty cool. I like it. This just removes the raindrops when you click. Basically. Just gets the position of that raindrop and has an offset of your X and Y. And then if you're clicking it, remove it. And go down. Yeah, that's my particle generator. Then I got my rain, which I don't know. I think the particle generator just uses it. It worked, so. Helpers, game state, we've got our different screens, gameplay, we've got these. Got a lot of stuff going on. But that is it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you stayed to the end, I just love you. Nah, but it'd be pretty cool if anyone stayed to this bit. If you did, please leave a comment saying you did, and I'll reply. I'd be pretty happy. Ask any questions you want about the game, how it's progressing. It's going to be updated pretty soon to Game Jolt and whatever. Still just a pretty tech demo. Yeah, hopefully I can get some gameplay done soon. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you later.